Radio Big here, talking about a game that comes and goes from the public eye quite a bit, Ark Survival Evolved. Now I want to put a giant asterisk on this review by saying this game is a hot mess of bugs, crashes, and problems galore, yet I still find this game enjoyable. It's probably the best survival game we have, which speaks more to the state of survival games as a whole than it does to Ark itself, but I mean, let's get into it. You open up the game, the first thing you notice is that this game was meant to be played with an MMO style to it, or at least that's how the devs want you to play it. It's not fun at all, in my opinion. I naturally only play this with friends on a non-dedicated server just so we can play and not get fucking PvP killed by some griefers. That means you have to mess with a lot of the settings for this game. You have to turn certain modifiers up to almost 20 times their original setting, just because for some reason the devs want you to actually spend over 10 real-life hours watching an egg hatch. So in order to make this game even playable, you have to spend the first chunk of your time, maybe an hour or even more, just messing with settings till this game feels like you have it where you want it. But you finally hop in, you get to play the game, and you get to the character creator. Or should I say the monstrosity from another fucking dimension creator. The people make it look like absolute abominations that long for nothing but death, and by the love of God, they will give it to you in this game. Because this game is brutally hard. You will die over and over and over again. Starting out is near impossible because predators are on your ass immediately, and you spawn with literally no way to fight back and die immediately afterwards. So all you have to do is respawn again and again and get lucky that you spawn in an area that has both resources that you can use to set up a base of operations and has nothing there that wants to use your liver as a flute. I highly recommend you play with mods for this game to help reduce the atrocities the devs have committed in order to further the idea that this game is some sort of MMO. Things like the ability to upgrade your own gear or the ability to carry more than 50 planks of wood. Because in order to get to endgame, you'll need thousands, thousands, and fucking thousands of every material. So the ability to actually hold more than my grandma who's fucking dead is nice. As you go through the game, you build up a hell of a lot of tames. Basically, you tranquilize animals, stuff food into their gullet, and then watch them wake up as your new pet. This process will be quite common as you build up a menagerie of tools, or animals, to use for your bidding. This part is actually one of the biggest reasons why Ark is extremely fun, as building up and having nothing going to a point where you have gators or rexers or brontos on your side is a really cool progression. It's a big reason why this game is fun, especially if you like dinosaurs. Side note, we tamed some animals and we noticed in the water well, their physics were interesting to say the least. Now the bugs in this game are usually noticeable, but the ability to turn a wolf into a mode of air transit was a new one to me, even after 200 hours I have in this game. You never really know what you're going to get with Ark. You just know there's going to be bugs. Clipping into walls, volume not working, animals glitching out indefinitely, flying dogs, it's all normal stuff for a game like Ark. The bugs aren't bad though. The crashing is, and it happens way more often than I'd like. It feels really bad going into a game and then suddenly you're not. And the game is just fucked. There's nothing you can do about it. This happens all the time. Mods, no mods, Ark just likes to crash. Like, the problem is, Ark has so much into it. The worlds are vast, the dinos and animals are interesting and fun to play with. You ride them, you tame them. Building up from being a total weakling to riding into battle your trusty steed that you've been leveling, it feels really goddamn fun, and that's why I come back to Ark, despite its flaws. I mean, there's an area in the newest map that features a giant beehive, and inside it you find just bears chilling out while you go in. It's so stupid, it's enjoyable. A lot of the maps have kind of just become a varied biome, though. There's always going to be an ice area, there's always going to be a desert area, there's always going to be a forest area, a swamp area. The thing is, though, these maps are huge in order to give you all this. And they all do have their little charms and flavors, which I really quite like. As well, though, the problem is the cave system. The cave system basically is your dungeons of Ark. It's really fun because in order to actually fight the bosses of Ark, you have to go through all these caves, find them, then beat them, and then return out. It can be quite the harrowing epic. The problem is, in multiplayer, they're a fucking nightmare. They're going to tether your friend into you, or they're going to glitch him out, or if you're not the host, it's going to glitch you out. It's a problem. They're just really clunky. They're added in such a way that it basically means you don't know if your friend is going to be teleported to you or away from you, or if suddenly the new area you just walked into is going to mean that across the world he's now ported into you. It could be a pain in the ass. So I definitely think that while a lot of these things are fun about Ark and making a great big world, it comes with downsides, just like everything else in Ark. And that's why this game, as I said, it comes with such an asterisk onto this review. I think this game isn't for people who like survival games, though. It takes a lot just to get this game going. You have to mess with settings, it's ungodly fucking hard, and you have to do everything in your power to change what the devs have tried to do to this game just to make it playable. And for the love of God, this game takes over 250 gigabytes of disk space just to fucking run. That is an ungodly amount that most people don't have to spare. God knows I didn't before I installed it. I had to delete half the shit I have on my computer. So, if you want to play this game, put on a timer so that after 2 hours you can refund it because your computer will burst into flames, for this game is fucking impossible to run on some computers. All in all, a solid question mark out of 10. I gotta give it that forever. I'm Radio Big. Over and out.